Hey there, Team New Kent. Welcome back to Team New Kent Talks, your podcast where we go behind the scenes with New Kent County Public Schools. We are talking to staff, students, and community members about what makes this such an amazing place to live and work. Today, we have a treat for you. We have a couple of staff members who have spent 25 years as part of New Kent County Public Schools. We celebrated them recently at our Team New Kent night, and we wanted to go behind the scenes and talk more to them about why they choose to be part of Team New Kent for 25 years, going into year 26. So today we have Barbara Duckett, our bookkeeper extraordinaire at New Kent Middle School, and we also have Tamika Hathaway, who teaches 6th grade at New Kent Middle School and also coaches both at the middle school and the high school. They'll both be sharing their perspectives on what makes New Kent so amazing. All right. Welcome to the show. This is the 6th podcast. Hard to believe. I know it's summer. Thank you for joining us today. Have some questions that we'll run through. I'm excited to hear more from our 25-year service members. That's pretty cool. So since you're year 25 and beyond, what was the first thing that drew you to this field or to New Kent? And either one, we can freestyle this.
Well, actually, my husband worked here first.
Is that true?
Yes.
I don't think I knew that.
And an interesting story was he helped the then principal of the middle school with his car because he was a mechanic over in transportation. And when I came for an interview, he said he didn't even have to interview me because if I was good enough for my husband, I was good enough for him.
Wow.
And here I am 25 years later.
That's a great start. I love it.
The earliest memory of me having a job, I wanted it to be in education. But in New Kent, fun fact, my husband drew me here too. He wasn't my husband at that point. And he gave me an application and asked me if I would come this way. I'm like, I'm not coming to be your girlfriend. And he's like, no, I want you to be my wife. That was his way of proposing. And here I am in New Kent 25 years later.
So the secret to 25 years is husbands.
Yes.
Okay. So 25 years, New Kent has evolved greatly in 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
Not really the same as when you started. How has your role in New Kent evolved across that time?
Wow. Well, I'm bookkeeper, secretary, and mine has changed that the people that I help has doubled.
Ah.
When I first started, the students were 435.
Okay.
And the staff was 35. And now we have over 800 students and about 70 teachers. But I love it.
Yeah.
I love being here. I love helping people.
That's awesome.
Well, I started at Watkins teaching 5th grade. And when I started at Watkins, it was just 3rd grade through 5th grade. We had a primary school in the county and 1 elementary school. And now we're up to 3 elementary schools.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started teaching English and history at the middle school. Now I've taught 1 year was just history. And now I teach just English and have gone through numerous admin changes, numerous superintendent changes, but love the growth in the county and love seeing how diverse and wonderful we're becoming.
You guys have been through enough principal changes that we're actually seeing the return of a principal. That's how you know you've been somewhere significant amount of time, is you go back through the cycle.
Yep.
That and when you're teaching the children of your former students, that will humble you quick and remind you of these 25 years because it's always brand new. When you're trying new lessons and you're getting new students, it's your first year all over again. Well, at least for me, it always feels like my first year teaching.
Mine's a little bit different because a student that I help, since I don't see very many students, his wife now works with me.
Okay.
The very first student I ever helped.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Full circle. So over 25 years, what major change in schools have you witnessed? So like how have schools changed in those 25 years?
Growth, a lot.
Traffic's probably a little denser than it was.
It is.
Yeah.
And when we first started, all of the kids rode on the same school bus.
That is true.
Kindergarten to high school.
Yeah.
So we don't have that anymore.
Yeah, the times.
Yeah, because we used to work like 8:30 to 4. Was school?
No, I want to say it still was earlier than that because I've been coaching in New Kent as long as I've been teaching in New Kent. And I was able to leave the elementary school and get up here. So maybe 3 to 5. So we had to have gotten off at 3, so I could coach from 3 to 5. But everybody being on the same schedule. Mm-hmm. I left when you talk about the people getting dropped off, the number of kids that don't ride the bus. Like this parent pickup line is unreal. Like I've never seen
calls that come in.
this many kids. Like, okay, chauffeur service. I like it. Just the number of students and the diversity of the students. It used to be, because my husband is from here, Rodney could look at my roster and know the family names. Like, oh, I went to school with this person, or I know this one. And when you teach in the fastest growing county in the state of Virginia, you're going to meet kids from everywhere. Sure. And it's made class interesting because it's always, how did you end up in New Kent? I know how I got here. I know you don't have a husband.
No husband yet,
You don't have a wife or kids at 11, but why are you here? And their stories are just so interesting, and it really has contributed to the fun that makes the middle school the middle school.
What's a moment or a student story in the past 25 years that's really stayed with you and reminds you why you do this? Picking one is hard.
Oh my goodness, yes. You should have asked me that my first year, not 25.
Of the thousands and thousands of students.
When you see them it's the same story for all of them. When you see them living their dreams, because thanks to social media, we can keep up with our kids, and thanks to the fact that New Kent is so small, and if you go to the right food line, you're going to hear what the other one is doing regardless. That you see them doing the great things that they always said that they were going to do.
Right.
And that you see that they've made it, and they are being productive, positive citizens, which is all you ever wanted from them to begin with. And the ones that weren't productive and positive when they were in the middle school with you have turned it around. You knew that they had it in them, so you end up proud of them. Those are always memorable moments to make your heart happy.
Absolutely.
Or when they come back and say thank you, or they remember you, because we've taught hundreds of kids and helped so many, that you, for whatever reason, meant something to them. So they run up to you and they give you the hug in the food line or wherever you see them.
Yeah.
I love seeing the friends of my children having children that are in the middle school now.
Yeah.
And watching them grow up, and it's like seeing the little mini-me's everywhere.
Sure.
They're growing up and looking exactly like their parents.
That's awesome. One of my favorite things, I think we did it 2 convocations ago, we had everybody who works in New Kent that went to school in New Kent on the stage, and it was like 50, nearly 60 people, which I forgot last year, but we'll recreate that again, just to that point, people realizing dreams, and then bring it to that next generation. It's amazing. So, how about the biggest challenge in your role?
Switching principals is a huge challenge
because they're also different.
Yes, very different. You've got to earn their trust.
Sure.
So, and then you got to do your job differently because of what they expect. The rules that change, the things that don't. At least I'm coming back to someone I know.
Sure.
So this is a very easy transition.
I bet in your role, like the processes and the technology and all of that has shifted a lot in 25 years from the way when you first started versus where you are now. Probably looks a little different.
Yes, I used to keep the bookkeeping in bookkeeping books.
Right, real books.
Yes, real books. And write checks on typewriter and things like that instead of having it on the computer. That's been huge.
The changes in the curriculum, the demands that the students have versus the demands that the parents have, and people bringing in outside things that have absolutely nothing to do with your classroom or your curriculum, and saying, no, that's not what we do here in New Kent, or this is not what we do here in our classroom, and that sort of thing.
How about students? How have students changed over time?
Well, now you're talking about the middle school children.
Right.
So that really hasn't changed.
The middle is still the middle. I would agree with you. I would agree with you.
They're still growing, and they're changing the most. And I love seeing them come in little as 6th graders and older as 8th. How they've changed in just those 3 years, much less 25 years.
Sure, yeah.
But they're still getting in the same trouble they were getting in when I started here in '99. Which is why we get on their nerves, because I know what you're going to do before you do it.
Sure.
There are no new tricks out here. So, no, the population is definitely more diverse, but that they are
They're middle school
still
students.
the same babies.
Yeah. So across 25 years, I'm sure you have thoughts on this next one. What do you think schools need more of or even less of?
I think each school needs to have a really good community within the teachers
Okay.
and the staff, and that everybody should really get to know each other, help each other, co-teach with them, learn what each other does to make it more of a homey atmosphere.
Yeah. Yeah. More community within the school.
Within the school.
Educational buy-in. The kids need to know just how important their education is to their future, not to the report card that you're going to get this 9 weeks, but long term. And you can't keep kicking problems down the road thinking that all of a sudden it's going to come together for you. You're all of a sudden going to understand it. That tackle it head on. It's okay they're afraid to fail. And we've put a lot of safety nets in place for them as teachers, as parents, as a community. And sometimes we've just got to let them fall.
Sure.
And get up and keep moving, just like you do when your baby's learning how to walk. You're not there to catch them every single time, but they get up and they keep walking, and then they learn to run, and then you wish you had never let them learn how to walk to begin with because you're chasing them every which way. But they're off and going.
So if I'm brand new starting today, I'm at the new teacher thing, I'm at the new employee piece, and what advice would you give me to be successful?
Tell me what you need. I stock the supply closet, so whatever tools you need in your classroom, I try to get everything that you need for that. I mean, they just need to be talking to me and letting me know. I would say get to know your peers a lot, because you will lean on them a lot. And there's some really fantastic people at the middle school.
Sure.
I mean, the library is off the chain. Love going in there. We've got some great 6th grade teachers. In fact, I'm not sure when the last time a 6th grade teacher left. The 6th grade team is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Well, it's the best middle school in the county. I mean,
It really is.
Hands down.
It really is.
Always has
Just,
been.
Great point.
just take stock in that you're coming, and that's where you get to work. But like Barbara said, lean on your peers, ask questions. Don't be afraid to fail. And tomorrow is a new day. The kids are eager to learn, no matter what you think and what you say. Just put yourself out there and bring your best, and you'll be fine. Building relationships are important, and we're going to be there for each other, and we'll cover your class, we'll bring in the supplies that you need, we'll bounce lesson ideas off of you and give you lesson ideas as well.
And that's part of what I love about New Kent and what is New Kent Middle School, the best middle school in New Kent, and beyond. It's just, we take care of each other. Like if you're down, somebody's going to pick you up. 25 years in, 25 years to go, baby. What keeps you hopeful about the future of education? People ask me all the time, like, why am I so positive? It's because I get to work with amazing people like you, and I get to work with incredible kids. And what keeps you hopeful?
I really love seeing that some of the kids that come through end up coming back as teachers.
And
it's hopeful that it's getting through, and they want to continue it on. Mr. McPherson and a few others.
Ms. Curry.
Ms. Hodges. And I just found out recently that Mr. Cooper also went through New Kent schools.
Yeah.
And Ms. Foss also.
I think Ms. Foss was at the middle school as well. Yeah.
Like I said, every year is like my first year teaching. Again, you get a new crop of students, you get to try new ideas. There's so many wonderful things coming out in education. I'm a huge fan of AI and everything it's doing on the educational front, and just seeing where that's going to go. It's ever evolving and ever learning. It's a new job all the time. So,
how would you like to be remembered by your school community? So somebody asked me, like, what do you want your legacy to be? Is another way to think about it.
Homework Hathaway.
Homework Hathaway?
Homework Hathaway.
I think that's pretty locked up. Like, I think I knew that before I knew your actual name was Homework Hathaway.
That I challenged you,
yeah.
and I made you bring your best, no matter whether that was your coach,
mm-hmm.
your teacher, that teacher in the hallway that was just monitoring to make sure that you got from point A to point B like you had some sense, that I pushed you and gave you some sort of life lesson along the way and helped you become the person that you wanted to be at the end of the day.
Nice. I love it. I love it.
Well, mine is, if you don't know, ask Barbara. So I want to be known as the person that always helps, you know?
Yeah.
If you couldn't figure something out, I did my best to help you get it, or to do it, or to figure it out.
Well, it's funny because it took me a minute to kind of figure this out, but in our conversations, you would always ask questions, like you'd ask about this, you asked about, but it was this is my opinion anyway, that you would have an answer because so many people come to you for answers. Mm-hmm. So about this day or this piece or what we're doing here.
Yeah, so I stored all the questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that when I saw you, I could get the answers.
Plus, you will ask the questions that not everybody will ask me. So you should actually be on this side and interviewing me, but no. So that's true. One of the things I don't know that I've shared is, like, my life changed in middle school. You talk about changing kids. Like, so Miss Hoffman was my middle school teacher. Like, it was right there in middle school. And, you know, you just never know that conversation, that impact, that push. You know, mine happened in after school detention. That was her push. Mm-hmm. If I wouldn't get done during class, I was going to have to stay after. And, you know, just it made a world of difference. And I get to sit here doing this because of her. So, you know, you guys in 25 plus years have done that for so many. Those that you know, but there are way more that you have no idea how you've impacted. So I just want to thank you for being incredible. And thank you for coming back for 26 and 27 and moving on. So thank you for sharing part of your story with us today. And it's been a pleasure. And I can't wait to see you on the first day.
Awesome.
What an incredible episode of Team New Kent Talks. Special thank you to our guests and our listeners, you, that makes this such an amazing podcast. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on incredible milestones, future episodes, and amazing people. It is the summer, but Team New Kent is going strong, getting ready for back to school. So we will be seeing you soon. Stay tuned for the next episode.